Let's talk about Penny Wong's China visit. I mean, there's talk that we may well soon see some relaxing of some of those trade bans. They've crippled many of our regional industries. I mean, how hopeful are you about this?
Well, you know, we have to also have a reality check of exactly what's happened. Minister Wang Yi visited, wait for it, the Solomons, we don't even go there, Fiji, Kiribati, Vanuatu, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea, virtual meetings with the Federated States of Micronesia and the Cook Islands. And I remember reading about a gentleman by the name of Zhaofeng Yin, who's at the Guangdong Institute of Strategic Studies, I think, fellow researcher there. And he says, well, we've got to, you've got to understand, you don't need to be anxious. Of course we're anxious, because that arc surrounds Australia. And our families and our forebears fought for and understand what happened in the Second World War. If you encircle Australia, we're gone. And of course we're going to be anxious about that. And we're going to ask people why this intense interest in the islands that would block off our trade routes. And I hope your listeners understand that. That's why we're anxious. And we've got to make sure that our first job is to keep you safe, to give your children and grandchildren the same rights and liberties that you have. And we can only do that. I don't think China would ever invade, but I think that you've got to make sure you don't put yourself in a position where you're weak, where you can be basically exploited, diminished and bullied into becoming a sort of quasi-vassal state. That's the issue that concerns me. So I welcome Penny Wong going over, Minister Penny Wong, but this has got to be done in a sober form that clearly understands not just the rhetoric, but the actions.
Yeah, and I get it. Australia's got to stand up for Australia, because China's certainly going to stand up for China. I mean, let's face it, China and India, between them, every week there's a new coal-fired power station being built. I mean, we have to talk about energy. The federal government, they've struck this $8 billion deal with the New South Wales government to connect the Snowy Hydro project to the electricity grid. In exchange, the New South Wales government is going to support Labor's coal price caps. This is an economic puzzle that is going to, well, frankly, be missing a few pieces somewhere down the track, I think.
Well, let's fill in a few of those pieces. Do you think these predominantly overseas companies that come in, build the wind farms, transmission lines, do you think they do it for charity, out of idle curiosity? They do it to make money, make money. And the way they do it is have a deemed rate of return on the transmission lines. They get subsidies in the past from wind towers. They get a crazy pricing mechanism which only sells power in 5-minute blocks. So of course they can supply that. They can't supply 24/7, 365 days of the year. No, but they can supply 5 minutes. And guess who pays? You do. You pay. You are the sucker in the end. You are the bunny in the headlight who pays. And when we get these, now they're going to put them out to sea. We've got towns that are absolute riot because they're saying we are turned into industrial park. Now, no one's suggesting they put wind towers off Manly or off Bondi, because Sydney would lose their mind over that. But they put them out in the country, and what we're seeing now is we are making our grid insecure. And forget the rhetoric, it'll all be so cheap because it's wind and it's free. Have a look at your power bill. There is the fact. That is the cost. And if you want that to get dearer, keep shutting down your coal-fired power stations. You know, this government's going to have oversight in April when they, wait for it, blow Liddell up. Not figuratively, literally. Put, gelignite around it, blow it up. Guess what will happen to your power price after that?
Yeah, exactly right. Less coal and gas in the system, the price can only but go up. And